kind of person who stores your cups upside down? Well, if you are, then you're in good company. Today we'll be sharing stories from our past, playing some games, and maybe even performing a live sketch or two. Let's try unsuccessfully to clip the nails of your dog or cat. Grab your knitting needles and a blanket because it's time for three old friends to sit around and sew a new patch into their quilt of friendship. So join me, Dion, under the covers with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork. So before we get started, I'd just like to say a big thank you on behalf of myself, Josh, and Dion.
Don't put me in that.
Yeah. So you can thank him on your behalf. You don't have to thank him.
Dion, you don't want thanks on just from me, Christian, and maybe Josh. Don't know.
Half from me.
Yeah, listeners still don't know what we're thanking.
For all our new patrons who have signed up over the last fortnight, we've had a really beautiful sending of grace towards us.
Getting very ceremonial about this, Christian.
What Christian is trying to say is if you want to support our podcast, go to patreon.com/welcome to Patchwork.
Well, I was also going to say that our patrons, because of our new refreshed tiers, have now got access to a lot of behind-the-scenes content and extra recordings that we've done. For example, last week, we spoke about my Apple Watch, which I couldn't even get to start a stopwatch all of 5 minutes ago.
What a show.
But this Apple Watch, we spoke about it a lot more, and Dion, you and I proceeded to argue for another, 5-6 minutes?
Yeah, we disagreed on the concept of a gift card and what it should be spent on. Anyway, if you want to become a Patreon, you get access to heaps more content. Go to patreon.com/welcome to Patchwork. Before we get started, isn't this a fun part of the show? Where we can take our anger out on each other so swiftly and easily.
There's no anger here, Dion.
In a very safe environment.
No anger here.
Josh, we met last night. To prep for the show at Saigon Pho, or as us uncultured people might call it, Saigon Pho. Josh, Christian and I arrived early, and you were a few minutes late, which is okay.
What did you order, Dion? Get to the nitty-gritty details.
It's not my bone to pick, but my bone to pick, Josh, was when you arrived, Christian said, Josh is here. And I got a bone to pick.
Sorry, I was late on that one.
And Josh looked like he had probably the worst 4 weeks I've ever seen. There was no smile. There was no greeting. As you know, I am big on greetings, but it immediately created what I thought to be a shit vibe. Christian,
really?
Did you think the same?
I think, Josh, you've been very subdued over the last kind of couple of weeks. Yeah, your greetings have lacked vigor.
I'll tell you why, I'm bloody tired. I've been rehearsing for Fringe Festival all
that's
week.
true.
All my entire weekends is all just rehearsing for Fringe Festival.
No. See, being tired is an excuse for kind of lacking energy, but not for walking into a room, sitting down and just picking up the conversation as if you had just gone to the bathroom.
I actually got feedback to that effect when I was back at uni. I used to have a 3-hour lecture that I didn't want to fight the traffic, so I'd just come an hour in for the last 2 hours.
Amazing.
That's not...
So incredible solution. So not an hour early, but an hour late.
It's recorded. Which I said, I was like, I'll listen to the first hour.
You're missing the foundations of the lecture.
So the point of bringing that up was that I used to just walk in, sit down, start taking notes. I didn't where are we up to? What are we doing? I was like, just start taking notes straight away. And then at the law ball, later that year, so I was like, drunkenly chatting, whatever. You're in my lecture. You're the guy who just comes in really casually and starts taking notes.
Yeah, it must be a really weird thing to witness.
It was just weird. I was like, who the hell is watching me sit and take my notes? But clearly Dion's watching me as well.
Did you think of coming in an hour earlier? I love how that was the solution. Yeah. What a stupid solution. Anyway, were you aware last night when we met up that you were in a shit mood?
I wasn't in a shit mood. I was just
you
tired.
were. Was he in a shit mood? Christian, back me up. Come on. Stop being this little...
I don't know whether I...
meek little lamb.
Dion, I think I perceived Josh to be upset, but I think the perception is skewed by the fact that Josh hasn't seen the sun for almost 6 months now. And when Josh hasn't seen the sun, he looks like he's going through chemotherapy.
Yeah, he does.
Christ. He does. I see old photos or even footage from earlier this year. I'm like, I'm very tan. I look very healthy. Just healthy. Just a healthy glow. That glow is gone. I look unhealthy. I have an unhealthy glow.
That's fine. Just fine.
You're fluorescent at the moment.
earlier this year, I went on a lovely road trip around the beautiful state of Tasmania with my girlfriend. We hired a camper van, and drove around. Yeah. Christian's late to the van party. We hired a van recently. He loves it.
Vans are great.
So we toured around Tassie. It was a lot of fun. And as this holiday was occurring, all this stuff kept popping up. I was like, this is great. I have to talk about this on the podcast. So throughout this season, we're going to be, I'll be bringing you some of those stories and some of those talking points. So now, Christian, if you will, it's time for Tales from Tasmania. So we did a lot of walking in Tasmania, and I realized that I have a very particular thing that I do. So when you're hiking or walking on a track where you're not seeing many people, and we were there in winter as well, so there were not many crowds. So when we saw people crossing our paths on the hiking track, it was quite rare. And then I realized that I say the exact same thing every time someone crosses. My intonation of the way I say hello is the same. It's just that friendly, nice. So let's pretend, Christian, you're walking along the track, coming towards me. Yep. It's like, hello. That's my standard stock one. So now, Christian, we're walking. Can you give me your? I'll do hello to you, Christian, and then you give me yours back. So we're walking. Hello.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
Oh, you said g'day, mate.
G'day, mate. All right.
Interesting.
Dion, now to you. Walking. Hello.
G'day.
Oh, ready? You and me, Dion.
G'day.
Hello.
But it's this weird thing that I realized that a lot of hikers have this same sort of hello, this kind of friendly, joyous thing.
Yeah.
And then I realized it also changes a bit because there's different circumstances for that. You know, when it's a narrow track and one of you has to stop to the side to let the others through, that's very different because you've got to focus. This is the stuff that's going through my brain when I'm doing these hikes. You're focusing on what you're doing down beneath you, but then you need to look up. If they've stopped for you, go, thank you.
If only the listeners could see Josh's face now. It's the most joyous looking face you've ever seen.
But all you've done, Josh, different from just common decency, is raise your register like half an octave.
It's weird.
Do you know what's more challenging for me? It's more challenging those people that you walk past them, you're all in this together and you just enjoying the environment and everything around you, and they have their eyes down and they don't acknowledge you. I don't get those people that don't acknowledge other people.
The other thing I found as well is that the polite conversations, the catch cries you'll get from them, if you're like heading to a thing of like, oh, there's a lake at the end that you're going to, so you're passing the people that come from there, it's always like, not long now.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's great.
You've spoiled it. Oh, you fucking idiot.
Let's go back. And also the weather is a huge player. The weather, a bit wet, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
Wait, you wouldn't engage? Do you engage in weather talk when you're crossing with someone?
When it's quite quiet.
Yeah, you do.
Or
Really?
Or if it's like a one-person bridge, so you've got that extra time where they're waiting for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, pretty wet, isn't it?
When I was in Wales, a friend and I did a hike. We had seen photos on Instagram of this really beautiful vista at the top of this, say it was a mountain.
Did you look at it through a window? Thank you so much.
There's an operating system joke for people who don't get that.
Yeah. So there's beautiful XP right at the top. And we decided, we're like, hey, let's just do this walk. It'll be beautiful. All the photo. From what we'd read online, it was quite a manageable walk. So we went down to what we later found out to be Mount Snowdon, which is the tallest peak in Wales at 1,085 meters in height.
Sort of sensitive documents up there, was there?
But both Andrew and myself were very ill prepared. We came in jeans and a jacket with no water bottles. Just this idea that it would be just a lovely, because it was an Instagram walk. So we thought, you just go to the top.
What's an Instagram walk?
So we were halfway up. We left early afternoon. We were halfway up and it was pouring rain. The visibility was shocking. It was about a meter in front of us. Couldn't see anything. The sun was starting to go down. It ended up being the most excruciating hike I've ever been on, slipping on rocks. We ended up thinking, so we had heard that at the very top of this mountain there was a cafe, and we were like, we just need to get
What? Because on Instagram there's photos of people's brunch. Must be at the top of the hill.
But there was this cafe at the top, and we were like, we just need to make it to the cafe because we can ask for help, or they'll have some food, some water. We're parched, we're hungry, it's late, it's dark. So we got to the top, and the fucking thing was closed. But as we got to the top, no visibility. Shocking. Got the photo that I've got. I'm gonna post this photo on Facebook. All it is this kind of sundial and clouds. You can't see anything. But as we started to descend, it was almost sunset, and we're like, we've got another 3 hours of hiking. We're descending in pitch black here.
No torch.
And we were maybe 10 minutes down from the top, and we saw a couple of people coming up after us.
The cafe owners.
and we did the friendly, how you go? And I was like, they've got no idea that this is going to be the worst part of this hike.
So what'd you do?
Them ages. I just let them go. And I've thought about this almost every day since of whether they made it.
Save them the trouble.
Because I didn't give them the hello. I mean, that's a long way to go, guys. Probably best that you turn around right now.
Very foggy today.
I think I would want to know if there was something crap on the end of my walk. I think I'd want to know. Thanks, Christian.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the fact that, hey, the sun's going down. You're not going to make it up there before the sun goes down.
Do you know what? You not being prepared for that hike reminds me of my holiday. Now, I haven't spoken about my holiday at all, but one of the things that I need to do when I go and stay particularly in a hostel, is I need to be well prepared because I'm a very light sleeper. So I have earplugs, I have a mask. So I was in Vienna. I stayed in this 6-bed dorm, and one guy came up to me and said he was from Colombia, and he came up to me and he said, "Hey, I can't do a Colombian accent." How do you do a Colombian accent?
Give it a go. You met him.
Just pretend you're a drug dealer.
How would you do it?
That's a good question.
Hey,
That was it. We all said,
hey, I don't want it to be a problem. No.
That's great.
That's great.
He's French Colombian.
French Colombian.
French Colombian. Yeah, leave it at that. It's like, hey, I don't want it to be a problem. But he said that, he said he snores and that, just tap me. And I
Just
thought to
tap
myself,
me?
Nah.
Yeah, he was like, feel free to wake me up. And I was like, that's
ridiculous.
I said to him, and I was on the verge of saying, you shouldn't be staying in a dorm if you snore.
Right.
No, I completely disagree.
No.
Dion,
The idiot's about to talk. The idiot's about to
Dion's
talk.
so scared we're all going to agree on something.
No, it is not his responsibility to get a private room.
Yes,
if
it is.
If you can't handle sleeping in a room with 5 other people, get a private room yourself.
Sorry, Josh. If your snoring is so loud that you have to warn people in advance that, hey, I'm 100% going to snore and it will disrupt you.
What's he meant to
You have
do?
an onus to go either in a private room or book the entire dorm out.
No, but he's sleeping fine.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's waking himself up. That's the thing. And I have a recording
So
of this
even
guy.
he can't get a private room from himself.
He needs one for his nose and one for the rest of his body.
Hey, just tap me.
in the mirror before he goes to bed.
But it made me think that, I'll finish the story. What I had to do was one guy sounded like he was like disemboweling like an elephant or something.
Jesus.
And this other guy was snoring. I got up.
I love it if he snores like, hey.
A Colombian snore.
And I got up and went down to reception. I was like, I need to change rooms. I really need to change rooms. So they gave me the key. They were really nice about it. I changed rooms. I walked into
Was this in the middle of the night?
This is in the middle of the night, 3 a.m.
Whoa.
I walked into the next dorm. It was 3 a.m. The lights were on. There was this guy on his back. There were underpants that were strewn all over the floor. And I didn't know what was going on. And then the next morning I was like, oh, he's probably, he probably just thought he had the dorm to himself, so there's a few pairs of underpants. I woke up after him. He'd left the dorm and he'd left it in a pigsty. I'll post a photo on social media. Underpants everywhere. His bag was everywhere. It was crazy.
But it's weirder that he would want his stuff, like the whole thing when I'm in a hostel in a shared room, it's like I want my shit to be taken care of and be private to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave my stuff around for other people to do.
But there's very distinct travelers. People like this is a kind of guy that would probably accumulate accumulate clothes on his trip. He'd just
Yeah.
leave. He'd leave his underpants stew all over the
Yeah.
floor,
The thing
and then
is-
he'd just take some of yours and take some of this person's.
It could be that thing though. You know how there's those people who live in hostels.
Yeah.
Maybe he's one of those regular weirdos.
He wasn't. So I talked to him in the morning. He was this Israeli guy. He was lovely. And I really wanted to hate him, but I actually really, really liked him. He was just an extremely messy guy.
What do Israelis sound like, Dion?
Well, I don't know.
So he was
Oh,
a
no,
nice.
I know what they say. Like, they say, hey.
So he was a nice, normal guy, despite.
Yeah,
what
despite
he'd
the
done.
mess. So
That's like you, Dion. Now you know how I feel
Exactly.
towards you.
Messy people could be nice.
Now it's time once again for Mr. Minute, which if you caught the first episode of in the last patch, pretty much we found some tapes in Christian's storage, one of his storage units. It was from this old improvised 50s noir, and each episode only goes for a minute. So we're going to tuck into episode 2. Last episode, if you remember, Mr. Minute, he took the case from professional fisherman Larry Edmonds.
And part-time jazz singer, I believe.
And then they were heading down to the old boathouse to check it out. So, Christian, if you want to pop in the next tape.
Mr. Minute, solving a crime 1 minute at a time.
I pulled up in my car to the old boathouse, jumped out, and made my way to the police tape.
Hey, stop in your tracks here. Stop in your tracks. This is a crime scene.
Hey, Mr. Minute, P.I.
Oh, Mr. Minute, I'm glad to see ya. We got a real bloodbath down there.
Really? No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, Mr. Minute, go on through.
Go on through, thank you. Oh, look, it's a witness. Did you see something, ma'am?
Yeah, the only thing I saw was I didn't actually see anything. I'm not ma'am, by the way. The only thing I noticed was like a burning smell. I don't know. There's something burning in the area.
Did you hear anything?
Nah, I didn't hear anything.
Just a smell.
Just the smoke. Just the smell. Smoke smell.
You just smelled something. Okay, kid, I guess I go with that then. Thanks for your time. I got a smell, and that's where I'm taking the case.
Thanks, guys. Good luck. All right. Have a good one.
So the other day I was unpacking my dishwasher, which is one of the main requirements I have whenever moving into a house. But anyway, I was unpacking my dishwasher.
What?
It has to have a dishwasher at a house if I move in. I'm
Amazing.
not washing dishes with my hands. I am way too diva for that. Anyway, and I was putting the cups away and I noticed that I put the cups upside down and I've been doing it my whole life. And my girlfriend puts them up.
The right way up.
Puts them
Hang on,
not the
no,
right
no,
way up. I wouldn't say
absolutely not the right way
It's a
up.
very loaded way of putting it.
When you place something down, it is the right way up. The way it is intended to sit is the right way up. I'm not saying for storage purposes. I'm saying the right way up.
But the right way up, someone might think the right way up, the intention of the right way up is in storage to be upside down.
I'm not talking about storage. I'm talking about a objective view of a cup.
But this whole topic is about storage.
Yes, but you're trying to distinguish between something being upside down. I'm saying the opposite of upside down is right way up.
Sorry, Josh. It's contextual.
It is
Oh, it's
contextual.
not.
Of course it is.
So if I pour a delicious glass of Coke and then put it upside down on the table,
Josh,
is that the right way up,
But
is it?
are you talking about storage?
or are
No.
you talking about drinking it?
Oh my God.
Anyway, so it made me think, why do I put them upside down? And I wanted to check in with you guys to find out whether... now, I have no idea whether you store them the right way up, upside down. I don't know what
That's
that
it.
is.
They're the opposites,
Sorry,
yes.
no, I'm with Josh now.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I think I'm with Josh as well, just to the hell of it. So, Josh, what do you do?
I store them upside down. And I'm very clear as to my reasons why. What do you do, Christian?
I store them upside down, and I'm
Great.
also very clear as to my reasons why.
To stop dust falling into the cup.
I store them upside down, and I'm very unclear as to my reasons why. I have no idea why I do it.
Yeah, it's so I have mine is different from you, Josh.
Oh.
So I agree about the dust, and I imagine the insects that might be crawling in the cupboard.
Insects.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I don't really like to, because I don't have a dishwasher, Dion. So I don't like to dry the dishes, but I also like a clean bench. So I will let them drip dry in the cupboard.
See, Christian, you store them the correct way, but my problem is your reason, the way you put them away is the exact reason why you wouldn't do that. The only reason you wouldn't put them upside down is if they're wet, and then you're getting any of the
No.
juices and dirt and stuff that's on the shelf onto the lip of the cup.
No, because if you store them the other way whilst they're wet, then you have a stale pool of dishwater at the bottom, and then you're creating a swamp in your teacup. A deluge in your teacup.
We had an essential conversation at the start of this about terminology. This is so far so confusing. You've said the right way, and you said the right way, and you said upside down, and the right way for storage.
I'll clear it up for us. There's upside down, then there's the right way up.
Yep.
And then if I use the term correctly, I'm referring to the way I store it, which is correct. Okay? But no, so my issue was the only time I wouldn't store them upside down is if they're wet and the lip is wet. So
Why?
you should, if you want.
So you think in your head what's happening is you put the wet cup upside down, and then all the water rushes to the bottom.
Yep.
And then it just stays in under the lip,
and it hangs around and
like
pulls
there's some perfect seal between cupboard floor and lip.
After I witnessed this with my girlfriend in our house, I asked her why she stores them the right way up, as Josh described. And these were her words. She says she doesn't mind drinking dust. It's better than the smell. Isn't that bizarre? Isn't that
She has a point.
Isn't that so bizarre?
She's aware. She's like, I'll drink dust.
Yep, I think she's got a point.
You drink dust over smell?
Well, I'm thinking about it.
You can't drink smell.
No, because it has quite a stale smell.
It's because you're putting them away wet.
Not always, not exclusively.
Okay, well, there shouldn't be a smell if they're dry.
No, but there sometimes is because you're locking in that air, Josh. You're locking in the air underneath. I understand what your girlfriend, Dion. I know her name, but I don't know whether she wants me to say it on the podcast. But I know what she means because it's quite this. It's like a stale. Do you know what I hate the most? It just triggered my brain now. I hate when people wash the dishes and don't rinse the soap out, and then leave the soap to dry.
Yeah, it's great.
You've got to rinse. You've got to rinse.
Do you have to rinse?
You know what? If neither of you do that, then the minority of people that do that, let this be known, you're an idiot.
But why? But doesn't the soap just slide off?
No, Dion.
Grow up, you're about to say.
But you know the thing that similarly on that, the thing I don't really get, you know how toxic and poisonous the dishwashing liquid and tablets are? I'll just cover them, all of our plates in that stuff.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just cover it completely in that.
How toxic and poisonous? How do you know they're toxic and poisonous?
Well, I've tried them, Christian. I'm amazed, Dion, that you don't realize why you do it. But Christian, all of your problems should be solved. All you need to do is dry your dishes. Or just put them on a drying rack. Get a drying rack.
Love getting schooled by Josh. Don't wash my sheets, Porter.
Also, what are Christian's issues? He doesn't have any issues. He just doesn't have a dishwasher and dries them and puts them upside down.
That's right. So do you know...
Sounds like Josh is the one with the issues.
Do you know, I lived in a place in London that had the perfect solution to this.
No taps.
No, the bottom of the cupboard where you put your cups was a grill, and it allowed your cups to drip dry in storage.
Where did it drip to?
Yeah.
The sink.
The sink. That's
sink.
great.
Isn't that
Above
great?
the sink. That's genius.
Yep.
That is really, really clever.
It's very clever, isn't it?
So if you want to visit grilldripdry.com.
Imagine if this was one big ad.
Really, really good. You know what's really, really good? Really, really good. You know what's really, really good?
Do you know what's really good? When you have the perfect amount of annual leave for your holiday.
Really good. Really good. Really good.
Do you know what's really good? Watching someone chase after their hat on a windy day.
Really good. Really good. Really good. You know what's really good? When a bird sitting on you stays still long enough to get a photo.
Really good. That's really good. Really good.
Really good.
And we love hearing your really goods. And this week, our really goods are taken exclusively from our followers on Instagram. Do you know what Philip Radlansky thinks is really good? When you're driving and the indicator sound is in sync with the music you're listening to.
Really good.
Really good.
And you know what Ezekiel _ Franco_G thinks is really good? When your mobile phone is about to die, but the train carriage you're on has a power / USB outlet.
Really good.
Really good.
And you know what Philippa Clare thinks is really good? Putting clothes on straight out of the dryer.
Really good.
Really good. You know what?
Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork for another patch. Josh, you are in the middle of a Fringe festival run. It's going gangbusters.
Yes, it's on right now. So if you want to come along and see the wide world of esports presented by Game Boys, it's me and my brother. If you grew up in the 90s, you'll have a great night out. I sound like I'm spruiking like, the latest musical at the Forum. God, you'll be dancing in the aisles. But yeah, we're on. And if you use the promo code Patchwork, you'll get 2 for 1 tickets. Show's on till Sunday the 30th.
And Christian, you and I are attending on the Thursday. That's the 27th of September. So if you want to come down and meet us and have a beer with us, we'll be there.
Looking forward to dancing in the aisles.
Yes, of course, if you want to follow us on social media, we have a Facebook account, a Twitter account, an Instagram account. We post what we think is reasonably funny and exciting content. So please go and like us. It's good stuff, we promise.
But if you want even more content, don't forget to come and join and support us via our Patreon. www.patreon.com/welcome to patchwork.
As we do on Welcome to Patchwork, we sew a new patch into our quilt of friendship. Josh, what did you sew into your patch this week?
Dion, my patch this week is me saying hello to Edward Snowdon as we cross paths on a walking trail. Christian, what patch did you sew this week?
Thank you, Josh. This week, I sewed into my patch Josh, the man of principles, drying his cups with the oily rag that is his shower towel. And Dion, what did you sew into your patch this week?
This week, I sewed me in a hostel using the dirty Israeli underpants to suffocate the Colombian snorer. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork this week. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
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 No, but he's sleeping fine.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's waking himself up. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I got really annoyed. No.
All the lights went red on the interface.